coming at y'all with another video today. So we're diving back into some more TYT fuckery. I don't like covering this shit, but when you smear one of the greatest journalists of our time, and yes, I'm talking about Glenn Greenwald, one of the greatest journalists of our time, it's kind of ridiculous. Now, people do have criticisms of Glenn Greenwald that I've seen on Twitter that are credible, that have more so to do with like protecting whistleblowers. But like, because Whitney Webb talked about this at one point about the reality winner situation, obviously now, you know, with the Daniel Hale situation, but that was on Scahill to me. And that's where I'm kind of like, at what point, you know, because I'm not seeing it as Glenn's fault. It seemed like when Glenn was at The Intercept, he kind of like focused on his work, and other people's work, you know, was more so separate from his. I don't know if that's the situation or case fully though, but like there are if I've seen credible criticisms of Glenn that aren't attacking his character, you feel me? Whereas TYT, you know, Cenk Uygur and the Kasparian, the Majority Report crowd, they're directly attacking his character. By the way, I love how he just goes, he shits on Sam Cedar all the time, Glenn Greenwald. That's really what I've been loving from him lately. Obviously, his writing is still impeccable and amazing, especially Friday. Look out Friday, I'm going to be covering his Nancy Pelosi story. I didn't get a chance to cover it. I'm going to be covering it Friday. But just, you know, but going after the shit libs, man, just going after this, you know, and the Democratic Party as a whole, but more so the progressive, like the boutique leftists that continue to sheep herd people into the Democratic Party, as I covered in my video on Monday. So, but let's go ahead and get into this though, because I found this, I just found this amusing from Anna Kasparian, that she had the audacity, honestly, or the caucasity, depending on I've seen somebody say that, somebody commented that on one of the extremely stupid things Anna Kasparian has been saying lately. Somebody was like, oh my God, the caucasity. I'm about to start using that word. So yeah, Anna Kasparian has the caucasity to come at Glenn Greenwald. So let's go ahead and check that out. So this is from Twitter, and this is Stephen Michael Davis. So let's go ahead and check this out.
But the thing that really gets to me about people like Glenn Greenwald is not only do I feel embarrassed for not only encouraging my students to follow his work, it was literally assigned to them. So how many of my students are reading what he's writing now and thinking like, oh, maybe Anna wasn't such a great professor? I care deep.
I think that you aren't a good professor, but I don't think you assigning your students Glenn Greenwald is what doesn't make you a great professor. I think it's the fact that you're not actually like a journalist. You're a pundit. You're a political commentator. Like somebody brought this up. Has Anna Kasparian actually done on the ground reporting? Like we know Emma Viglin's done on the ground reporting. And she, from what I've seen and what I've heard, she did some, like, I'm from Delaware. She did some good work exposing a lot of the, you know, pollution and corruption going on here in Delaware. And I'll give credit where credit's due. I appreciate her for doing that. But you know, a lot of her work on TYT, her doing the traveling, you know, journalism, in my mind, and to me, was just a bunch of shit lib claptrap videos where she's interviewing like the most craziest and zaniest Trump supporters. That's what it looked like to me. And every now and again, she'll do like a good piece on something, but her work was her just traveling around, you know, interviewing like the most diehard Trump supporters and the most craziest Trump supporters. That's not journalism. That's entertainment for shit libs. That's shit lib claptrap videos. That's what that is. That's what that's there for. That's what TYT basically consists of and has always consisted of, looking back, honestly. So, you know, I've never heard of Anna Kasparian. Like literally, Jimmy Dore already talked about how she basically said she could never do that type of work, like on the ground journalism. But then you have the audacity, or I'm sorry, you have the caucasity to tell people like Ronnie at Calic she needs to get her facts straight more. Jesus Christ, somebody, and Ronnie is, I believe she's like in Lebanon right now. Like when I watch Breakthrough News, like she's talking about like, yeah, I'm in Lebanon right now. She posted some video on Twitter where she was at a Lebanese or a Lebanese beach or something like that. Like she's actually there. You know, Vanessa Beeley's actually there. What's the other girl's name? The other lady's name? Not Vanessa Beeley. It's another one. Oh my God, she does great Syria reporting. So I'm drawing a blank on her name. If I remember, I'll put it in a description below. But yeah, so yeah, you know, you're not a good professor. And the reasoning for that, it's not because you showed your students Glenn Greenwald, are actually legit good journalists. Like, and then on top of that, like she likes to invoke her friend, her friend Michael Rosenbaum. I think that's his name. Whatever the fuck is his name? I always draw. I think Michael. I just named the Lex Luthor from Smallville. Fuck is his name? Michael. Oh my God, I always draw, but Michael Brooks. I just called him Michael Rosenbaum. I'm talking about Lex Luthor from fucking Smallville. Michael Brooks. She likes to invoke him, and Michael Brooks, like, you know, he was a huge advocate for Lula and Brazil. Glenn Greenwald's journalism got him released and exposed Bolsonaro. What are you talking about right now? What are you talking? He pushes back against governments. You parrot their talking points.
Deeply about everything I do, right? And there have been so many opportunities for me to walk away from this job and make a lot more money doing stuff that doesn't fulfill me. And
so she finds fulfillment in shitting on homeless people, like she just recently did. She finds fulfillment in smearing journalists like Glenn Greenwald and Aaron Matei. She finds fulfillment in punching down at grassroots activists, at citizens fighting for healthcare. She finds fulfillment in that. Listen, this is her saying this, not me. And this is me connecting what she does on this show.
And doesn't really do you guys justice.
You're right, you don't do us justice because you push imperialist talking points, you push pro-big business talking points, your boss is anti-union, so you're basically anti-union. What are you talking about right now?
And it's just...
You run shady fundraising campaigns. Jesus Christ.
Then you have the same people. You have Glenn Greenwald turn around and say that, like, that we're corrupted, even though our messaging, our political.
So Jeffrey Katzenberg lobbies basically to criminalize homelessness, and you start parroting the same talking points that those people use. I call that corrupt. After your company, after you took $24 million from that motherfucker. I call that corrupt.
Views, our mission has never changed. We've been consistent year after year.
So that's just comedic there. And I like how Fee posted some of the journalists. It's fucking hilarious. So yeah. So all that was in reference to Glenn Greenwald, and I believe she did another segment about it as well, but all that is in reference to Glenn Greenwald announcing that he's going to be moving content to Rumble along with Tulsi Gabbard. So I'm just going to read through a thread. One key person who moved to Rumble with me, Tulsi Gabbard, a 4-term congresswoman from Hawaii and a vegan. She quit as D, and nobody talks about this when they bring up Tulsi. And, you know, especially from that crowd, from the TYT, Majority Report, Humanist Report, even Tim Black's bitch ass. Tim Black, I just saw a video he posted about Tulsi. But yeah. A 4-term Democratic congresswoman from Hawaii and a vegan. She quit as DNC vice chair to support Bernie in 2016. She endorsed Biden over Trump in 2020. Yet, which that's why I'm not fucking with her personally. And yet, they still claim she's right-wing and Rumble is an alt-right site. How? For one reason, Tulsi believes in free speech and thus uses Rumble, which is not a right-wing site, but a free speech site. But since most of the liberal left hates free speech and craves big tech censorship, anyone who supports it is now on the right. And that is 100% true. That's the first thing they say about people like Jimmy, about people like me that criticize them and criticize the Democratic Party. Or they're right-wingers, they're fascists. You know, people on Twitter like to say they're fash. It's so trendy now to use that fash. Half y'all motherfuckers using that word don't even know what the fuck that shit means. Rumble was founded in 2013 and is controlled and run by its CEO, Chris Pavlovsky. That's the only trepidation I have about it, because what happens when, you know, he gets pressed by the government like Zuckerberg did? This is exactly what happened. So that would be my problem with it personally. He founded it for apolitical reasons to support the smaller content creators YouTube was abandoning. To the extent he has politics, he's a Canadian liberal. But again, free speech now equals right wing. And that's one of the things I've been thinking about. What if we all got together, like, you know, even the big guys, like put aside our differences we have, because I know a lot of, even now, like a lot of the, you know, the dirtbag left, as I like to call ourselves, because that's what they call us, the dirtbag leftists, you know, people like Jimmy Dore, you know, myself, I'm not big, but big yet, but everybody, Jimmy Dore, Convo Couch. I'm trying to think, all the big wigs, the Vanguard, Primo Radical. What if we all said fuck this and like did what Panquake was doing, like just started our own, YouTube platform, like a free speech YouTube platform. I think that would be so dope. Like, obviously, Rockfin is the place to go. A lot of people are talking about, and I'm working on getting on Rockfin. By the way, if anybody knows how to get in contact with Rockfin, like I've been trying to get in contact with them because I filled out the app. We're gonna talk about that another time. I'm not gonna talk about it. I filled out the application for Rockfin, and they still haven't gotten back to me yet. But whatever, that's a whole nother conversation. Because I'm trying to get on Rockfin. I know a lot of y'all have been saying you wanted to see me on Rockfin. I'm on Odyssey, but I'm having issues with getting on Rockfin. But that's a whole nother conversation. I'll get at some of y'all on Twitter. Like, I think Mick Resistor was talking to me about Rockfin and everything too, or a couple other people. But regardless, if all of us got together, unapologetic, Fred Hampton leftist, everybody, and started our own shit, like that's what I'm in favor for, and kind of like, and the ideology of, socialism and communism, like basically take what is it called? The cooperative model and apply it to free speech, to our beliefs. And honestly, like I've been inspired to do that through people, before I found out their dirty secrets, but Jacobin, and there's like been a couple other like entertainment outlets and shit, like, well, not outlets, but media, socialist media companies and outlets that have been doing their thing. I'm like, let's do that for ourselves, man. Honestly, fuck everybody, fuck what they're doing, let's do it for ourselves. But yeah. And honestly, I'm going to try and get on Rumble. I'm going to check out Rumble, see what it's about. I haven't done a lot of research on it, but just seeing that, what Glenn is talking about, just it's run by the CEO. I don't know how I feel about that. A centralized, it's basically like Rumble I guess it's free speech, but it's still centralized under the CEO. So if the CEO ends up getting pressed by the government starts fucking with him, he's going to fold, like all of them did. Zuckerberg. Now, the difference between this guy and the other guys like Zuckerberg, Bezos, all of these other, media and tech companies and shit like that, their companies were founded in conjunction with intelligence. That's the difference. I'd recommend reading Whitney Webb's work, and I'd recommend reading, I think it's When Julian Assange Met Google or something like that. They explain all that. But yeah, so continuing. Another person who moved with us this week to Rumble is Matt Orfalea, who came to prominence making pro-Bernie videos, calling him right-wing. Calling him right-wing is demented. Yeah, because Matt Orfalea is not a right-winger. Why did he move? He's been repeatedly censored by YouTube and wants free expression, which Rumble provides. It can't be overstated how much the liberal left not just believes but craves control of online political speech by big tech monopolies coerced by the Democratic Party. If you oppose that, if you believe in a free internet, that's enough for them to scream conservative. We just saw Keith Olbermann basically like saying Jimmy Dore needs to be kicked off all platforms for his speech. There are still exceptions, but by and large, the liberal left, in complete captivity to the Democratic Party, believes it's wrong and dangerous not to have the internet censored by big tech. They're authoritarians. If you oppose that, then to them, you're on the right. There is, in reality, nothing right-wing about Rumble. They don't have apolitics, just as Substack doesn't. What they both have is a belief in free speech and that they shouldn't decree truth and falsity. But the authoritarian faction that U.S. liberalism despises that value. Yeah, literally on Substack, Barry Weiss was saying Israel needs to kill children basically to uphold its ethno Jewish state and shit like that. And people like me were criticizing her, but we weren't calling for her work to be pulled down. Though if you wanted to make an argument, if I was a little authoritarian, I could make the argument of doing that, of inciting violence, because that's what that is. But I wasn't doing that. And a lot of people weren't doing that. People weren't saying that. Nobody was saying that. And I was criticizing Barry Weiss for that, to pull her work down. We combated her bullshit speech with more speech. And that's what the fact of the matter is. These people don't want more speech because it'll reveal either their grift. And I don't like to use that word often. I know I don't use that word often, but it'll either reveal their grift and TYT or that they're delusional. And a lot of the majority report people as well. But it's one of those two things with these people. It's grifting, corruption, grifting, or delusionment, naiveness. So, and a lot of people fall into that. I believe Kyle Kalinske falls into that naive category, definitely, along with some other things. But it's just crazy. These people and she has the audacity. the caucasity to question Glenn Greenwald's journalism. Like, shorty, fuck out of here. So all in all, you know, Anna Kasparian's full of shit. You know, I don't know why people listen to her and take her opinion seriously nowadays. And they've been TYT and all of, you know, they've been outed as bullshitters, as liars. And that's just what it is. And now here she is smearing Glenn Greenwald yet again, along with our boss, Cenk Uygur. So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and close the video out there. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Emphasis on all that. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Peace.